Now we continue on with the way of abiding, and we're looking at page 185 here, embracing the larger scope. So he begins with, now all phenomena are timelessly embraced within the supreme spontaneous presence. First, everything is embraced within the purity of spontaneous presence. And then down in the middle of the page, from cutting through the 3 times, he recites, the ground of all samsara and nirvana is awakened mind. The ground of all awakened mind is spontaneously present. The essence of spontaneous presence is indeterminate. What is meaningful about spontaneous presence is that it is unborn. So unborn spontaneous presence is free of any time frame with a beginning or end. So it's beyond beginning and end. And it's also ineffable. It's non-conceptual as a part of that. On page 186 at the bottom, spontaneous presence is revealed within the larger scope of its not entailing effort or achievement. Now we've seen that one before as well. And on the next page, the commentary, since Dharmakaya is timelessly ensured in the essence of awareness, there is no point in trying to accomplish this anew. And then a couple more lines down, it is shown that there is nothing to be sought. Okay, very reminiscent of what we looked at previously. Top of 188. Spontaneous present is summarized as being unchanging. I might say neither permanent nor not permanent. But his commentary, below the root text there, all phenomena of the world of appearances and possibilities are such that they do not waver from the scope of awareness. This is referred to as the spontaneously present basic space of me, samattabhadra, in which nothing need be done. And so then he has a long quote from the overwhelming the 6 modes of consciousness with splendor. Manjushri is equal to great splendor, so there's a connection here with Manjushri, who's the Buddha of wisdom. And so at the top of page 189, within the very realm of samattabhadra, free of anything needing to be done, there is never any samsara or nirvana in the expanse of samattabhadra. Apparent phenomena are wholly positive. Emptiness is positive in every way. There is never any appearance or emptiness in the expanse of samattabhadra. So this is beyond both appearance and emptiness, if you will. So the positive, the wholly positive, is basically the translation for samattabhadra itself. So everything in saying positive isn't differentiating between positive and negative in that sense, but referencing samattabhadra yet again. And then down a number of lines below the middle of that page, since all limitations without exception are one within basic space, this unparalleled oneness is the greatest of the great. The greatest of the great is the basic space of phenomena, samattabhadra. Okay, so all of these references back again to the concept, if you will, of samattabhadra. And then his commentary at the very bottom of the page, the wholly positive expanse is the scope of awareness. So the samattabhadra is the scope of awareness, if you will. Original purity, timeless awareness that occurs naturally and is empty yet lucid. So we know that it's there. It's not just nothingness. It's a knowing that it is there. The key point on page 190, toward the bottom part of the second paragraph there, the key point of all this is to abide without doing anything, resting in a state of equilibrium as ordinary consciousness falls away in the resolution of phenomena. So as we're understanding the emptiness of phenomena as physical, real things fall away into this emptiness. And then continuing, since there is no karma, the essence of awareness, the limitations of positive and negative actions are transcended. And then following the quote there in the commentary, you might object. We know that there is karma because it manifests as suffering. But although this manifestation occurs because of the way in which the display of awakened mind arises, yet is unborn, it does not exist in naturally occurring timeless awareness. Similarly, although gathering clouds appear, they are merely the display or dynamic energy of space. In the essence of space, they do not exist. Okay, so that's a metaphor for that, but you get the idea. There's a difference between, when we talk about mind, there's a difference between ordinary, everyday mind and how we perceive things, and the true nature, the essence, the pure awareness of aspect of mind. And that's what's being referred to here. And then continuing on the next page, 191, coming to the decisive experience. Now you come to the decisive experience of all phenomena as spontaneously present, as inexpressible and beyond imagination. In the first line in the commentary, awareness is awakened mind. Okay, so we talk about pure awareness, we talk about awakened mind, we're talking about exactly the same thing. So then from the direct encounter with the three kayas, awakened mind is the all-inclusive source. Awakened mind is non-dual, since it is not made and then unmade. Basic space of phenomena is evenness, since there is no self or other. Awakened mind is innate responsiveness, expressing itself impartially in all ways. Awakened mind is enlightened activity, bringing consummate benefit to beings. The basic space of phenomena is unborn, since it undergoes no transition or change. Within the basic space of phenomena, regardless of what arises, whether high or low, awakened mind is never subject to hierarchy. Within the basic space of phenomena, regardless of what arises, whether outwardly or inwardly, there is never a division into outer and inner within the expanse in which nothing need be done. With no division into outer and inner, the nature of phenomena is an unobstructed expanse. Within the context of indivisibility, all conduct is the direct encounter. So we can see from this, it has a flavor a little bit like the Heart Sutra. All of these different qualities and characteristics, and if you read through it quickly like I did there, you begin to get a feel for that as opposed to looking at each individual detail of it. And then the all-illuminating sphere states, the ultimate meaning of that which is unceasing and ineffable by nature, in looking one does not see it, and in seeking one does not find it. Outwardly and inwardly, or even on the outward level alone, there is no object to be conceptualized on even the most minute or profound level. And then one comes to the decisive experience of spontaneous presence as the ultimate heart essence. So the decisive experience is that ultimate heart essence. And from the root text in this case, because phenomena are originally pure in essence and spontaneously present by their nature, they are free of the limitations of the four alternatives: existence, non-existence, affirmation, or denial. Or sometimes we say both or neither. This is the nature of non-dual awakened mind. It just is. It's like the paradox of those four. It's beyond logic, beyond explanation. It just is. And then from the reverberation of sound at the bottom here, last line, the nature of phenomena is completely ineffable. Continuing on the next page in the third section here, the meaning. The meaning of the preceding section is shown more extensively. Original purity in the essence has never existed as anything. Rather, its nature, like that of space, is primordially pure. And then the commentary on that, the very essence of awareness, original purity, is beyond the limitation of existence or non-existence, and so is beyond being imagined or expressed in any way whatsoever. The Six Expanses states, free of elaboration, the originally pure nature of phenomena is the quintessential ground of being, totally pure in its very essence. It transcends words and syllables. No definitive conclusion can be reached through description. It is free of all attempts to represent or elaborate on it. There are no dualistic thoughts. There are no Buddhas, no ordinary beings, no phenomena, or any ideas about phenomena. There is nothing. There is nothing. There is nothing whatsoever. Okay? But there's a knowing. There is a knowing. The nature of awareness is the ground for arising of all samsara and nirvana. So it's like a crystal that is clear, and yet these rainbows do come. Okay, moving on to page 194, toward the bottom of the page, one comes to a decisive experience of the spontaneous presence of all that occurs. From the root text, spontaneous presence, unborn and indeterminate, is the ultimate ground of being. Spontaneous presence is the ultimate ground of being, even though it's ineffable. And then continuing with the commentary at the top of 195, all phenomena arise initially from the unceasing expanse of spontaneously present awareness. Thereafter, they continue to manifest in the light of awareness. Finally, they are freed, vanishing within the expanse of awareness, awakened mind. There is no deviation from this process. Next, on page 196, bottom of the page, one comes to a decisive experience of the ultimate meaning of this process of dissolution. Top of the next page, in the root text, the supreme decisive experience concerning all phenomena is that they are encompassed within basic space, spontaneous presence, as the natural place of rest. All elaborations dissolve naturally in the non-conceptual expanse. So they arise, they abide, and they dissolve. Even those that are related to the ultimate do that. Moving on to page 198, the first paragraph below the quote there. However, samsara and nirvana manifest in their respective ways in light of awareness. By their very nature, they are equal. Both samsara and nirvana are empty appearances, equal in that they arise from basic space and are freed in basic space. This is how you should understand the equalness of samsara and nirvana. So it doesn't matter whether we're talking about samsara or nirvana, things arise, they abide, and they go away. Okay? All the same. And then he talks about two decisive experiences, the nature of two decisive experiences. And these are in the root text there, so down about 4 or 5 lines. One comes to the ultimate decisive experience of everything. So that's the first one, the ultimate decisive experience within the fully awakened state of enlightenment. Okay, so we reach the ultimate one in the state of enlightenment. Then the second one, in the same way, one comes to the moment-by-moment decisive experience. So in our everyday mind, moment-by-moment consciousness, by letting the busyness of apparent phenomena in mind rest naturally in the lucid expanse, so that there is utter relaxation, non-conceptual and free of elaboration. Okay, so that's a little bit like child and mother clear light. Okay, the child clear light is our experience of the clear light, and the mother clear light is the actual clear light at the time of death. So there's a relationship there as well. On page 200, it refers again to these mother and child aspects in the commentary. The mother aspect is the ground aspect of awareness. So that's the ultimate aspect, if you will. Empty yet lucid. The child aspect is the naturally unsullied, unborn, and empty. These two aspects blend as one at the point of separation from the physical body. So this would be the manifestation of clear light, or of rainbow body. However, they are not in fact different awarenesses. Only a matter of whether or not there has been separation from the confines of the physical body. The doorway of timeless awareness opens through awareness that elicits a subtle and pristine quality. The metaphor is that of a reunion between mother and child. So the only difference between the two is that one manifests in the body, physical body, and the other does not. But they are one and the same, ultimately. Continuing on then, the decisive experience is pith instruction in its ultimate sense. So the pith instructions are very, very concise kinds of instructions that are given to try and capture the essence of some particular concept. So in this case, from the root text here, if you do not come to a decisive experience now in basic space, the natural place of rest, freedom from the original ground of being will not come about in the future. So if you don't get it in this context, you're not going to get it in any other context either. And then down a couple of sections here. Thus, it is crucial to come to a decisive experience and instantaneous and naturally abiding meditative absorption within inner basic space now and in the future. So when we get that, and we can maintain that, that helps. And then in his commentary he says, if you do not recognize natural meditative stability in its place of original purity, the state of luminosity or clarity, then even though your meditation is stable, it is similar to that of a god in a realm of meditative stability. And so we talk about the God realms of being able to have this meditative stability, but they haven't gone the next level. They don't have that lucidity, that clarity, that understanding. So this cannot bring you freedom, but will only bind you once again and cause you to take rebirth in one of the higher realms. And then down on pretty much the middle of the page, just above that long quote, with recognition of this, that being clear light, lucidity, luminosity, clarity, direct knowing, all those kinds of things, with recognition of this as the very essence, one instantly awakens to Buddhahood in the unobstructed leap. This is the leap over. Okay. And then moving on to page 202, middle of the page, fourth line down in that commentary section. By engaging in the most majestic of spiritual approaches, one immersed in genuine being overwhelms the 8 other approaches or vehicles, and has the ability to cross the abyss of samsara through realization, and so dance in the sky of the nature of phenomena. One immersed in genuine being awakens to Buddhahood upon being freed from the confines of the physical body. And thus you're able to dance in the sky. Dakini translates as sky dancer. So it's a little bit like that, although in this case we're talking being in a Buddha form as opposed to a Dakini form, if you will. But some Dakinis are also Buddhists, so you get that as well. Then at the top of page 203 here, we're talking about awareness, spontaneous presence of Dharmakaya, rest, basic space, original purity, the supreme ground of freedom beyond imagination or expression. So at the bottom of the page then, this is the definitive conclusion concerning the timeless and spontaneous presence of all phenomena.